Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brooklyn. It's the WGIS, nothing less, giving it straight to your chest. Yeah, yeah. Know what? No chaser. Yeah, yeah. What's the name? It's the WGIS, nothing less, giving it straight to your chest. No chaser.
Welcome to another edition of the Rundown. It's your boy, the Drum Major. By my side is my right hand, my partner, Chef.
What's good, baby?
What's happening with you?
Listen, man.
The finals is here.
The finals is here.
And then there were two.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was thinking about boycotting this finals heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. I was about to give up on the NBA, man. I'm gonna tell you why later on.
Yeah.
When we get into the finals, but I had heavy contentions on boycotting the finals this year.
Oh, well.
But then I said, OKC, that's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll punch Indiana in the mouth. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you, nobody's feeling Indiana
OKC
right
five.
now.
I'm calling it right now. OKC in 5. Calling it right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're gonna wash them. OKC in 5.
Yeah, well, OKC is the only team that isn't tired, that isn't hurt, and don't have injured players. So yeah, so they're definitely gonna meet. They definitely gonna run into their match.
Fun fact: OKC 29-1 against the Eastern Conference. That's
29-1.
That's crazy.
They've been run ruling everybody.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like that.
Crazy.
29-1 against the Eastern Conference. That's crazy.
Let's get it, baby. Ride or die, baby. Ride or die.
OKC in 5, man. OKC in 5 for real.
I gotta be honest with you. It's not gonna be boring by any stretch of the imagination. Because I want to see how Indiana's gonna leak out on OKC. I want to see how they're not gonna play defense and leak out. I want to see how that works.
Look, man, Obi Toppin, English Muffin, Mary Poppins. OKC 5.
Don't care who it is. Get your ass out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt.
It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick work. It's gonna be quick work.
Man. Listen, you know what else is exciting?
What's that?
I gotta tell, because I watch not just baseball, but I watch women's softball. And my team is FSU. Love them. Been loving them since Charlie Ward.
Sure.
Ever since Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward has cemented FSU for me for years. So I watched the women's softball. I watched the women's baseball, men's baseball, and occasionally I'll catch football because football, I'm hit or miss on football.
Right.
But long story short, Texas Tech, Women's Softball World Series, Texas Tech, Najee Kennedy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, $1.2 million just to pitch for this school. And she pitched 300. I think she laid down 300 pitches or something like that.
Okay.
And
shout out to her. All right.
Oh my gosh, she's killer right now, killer. So shout out to Texas Tech and Najee. She is no joke. If you can watch this previous season, they knocked out Oklahoma this week. Four-time reigning champs, knocked them out. Her by herself. I mean, she's got his team. Don't get it twisted.
So her NIL deal was
1.2. 1.2.
Nice. Shout out to her. Good for her.
How about women's sports, huh? Shout out.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming up. They coming up. They're coming into their own. And not even the NIL deals is good, man. It's good for them, man.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. It's about time.
And then they got their professional.
Yeah, the only drawback is the inconsistency with the portal transfers. Portal transfers. I mean, the
They
students
gotta
has
fix that.
autonomy. The students has autonomy now, and so it's it's good on one end, but this is the cons about it. You know, they can't take the heat
No.
when they don't like getting called out. So the minute they get called out, they want to go to the portal. They say, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go to the portal. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm going through the portal.
I'm
So
not a fan of it at all.
yeah. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of them getting their bread. But
Yes.
the the
Yes.
the full autonomy for them to just jump and leave whenever shit gets a little dicey, a little shaky, a little heavy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is going to further perpetuate the soft era.
Yeah.
And this is you're gonna develop a new society of people who's sensitive to criticism.
Already there, babe.
Yeah, and
Already there.
and this world, and I don't know if this world can operate like that.
It's not meant to. It's
Right,
not meant to. You know what I'm saying?
right.
This world didn't birth fair weather friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And this this earth birthed warriors, kings, nobles,
yeah.
and countrymen, right? And
Yep,
politicians,
yep,
of
and
course,
Queens. Yep, that's
and
right.
queens,
That's right.
and warrior princesses as well,
That's
nonetheless.
right. That's right.
We've seen the birth of uh, strong people,
That's right.
and we're in the era of weaklings. You know,
Yeah,
meek,
right.
very meek.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen kids that on my son's baseball team when they strike out, um, the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you can't tell if it's emotional that they struck out or is it because they're eager to win
Right.
and they just made a mistake and they cost themselves. So is it selfish or self pity or
Mm-hmm.
a formidable emotion? You know what I mean? You just don't know these
Sure.
days. But
Yeah.
you see it in schools. You know, you get bullied, cats carry guns, and they want to shoot up
Yeah.
the whole school instead of going for the kid that did it for you. I mean, but we was
Right.
coming up.
Right.
You hit me up, I'm gonna hit you up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see
Yeah.
you.
Or even so, or yeah, running a fade. Or if you don't even want to do that, simply go see talk to a counselor, talk to your parents,
Yeah,
um, call report it to the administration.
yeah,
Anything other measures than just crashing out.
yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that.
So yeah, it's definitely those kind of things that it can cause for concern in this upcoming society that's coming up under us, and we about to pass the baton to them soon, so they can run this world.
Can't believe we're in that generation right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, man. I remember. Yeah, not so long ago there was a time the boomers was passing the baton to us.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
giving us the same speeches that we spewing out now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We weren't at that time so far removed from slavery and Jim Crow.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't that
now, and
wasn't
we're
that
still
far removed?
not. We
Yeah,
still
wasn't
not,
that far removed? That's right.
but we're further along than our generation. And to see what has happened, it's like where did it go wrong between us and our
Hmm.
parents? Not
That's
our
right.
grandparents, but between us and our parents.
That's right.
So
For sure. For
it's
sure.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. But Chef, let's get to
Yes,
it, man.
sir.
But before we do that, shout out our supporters,
Yes.
Sugarwater Radio, Sugarwater TV. Shout out to Franchise New Girl, Inspire Motivational Tees, www.inspiremotivationaltees.com, or one word, INSPYAH, motivationaltees.com. Copy yourself a shirt.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
most popular sale. Graph
Yeah.
Inks, graphic arts and multimedia and advertisement for any and all occasions. And last but not least, Fat Boy Coffee. Shout out to Rock and Coach Lonnie, major distributors of the brand. Upon your first purchase, get a 10% discount using code WGIS1. Again, using code WGIS1. Chef, it's been a great season. Can't
Yes.
deny it. But it has come to a sobering end.
Yeah.
Our boys are done,
Yeah.
but They went deep into the playoffs. Grueling yet exciting playoff series that we've witnessed.
Yeah,
A lot of great moments, a lot of
definitely.
head scratching moments, and also a lot of sobering moments. Even down,
Sober up.
yeah.
Sober up. Listen, I think, Ja, for me and you, we're veterans at this, right? Our generation is veterans
hmm
at this.
hmm
The two generations, almost three and a half under us, don't understand this part of the game. The
Nah,
loss, the loss. They haven't,
the loss, or even the business side of it.
right? They haven't witnessed this side of the game. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Very
heavy.
heavy.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, I remember it took days to recover when the '94 Knicks went to the championship.
hmm
It took days to recover when the '99 team went to the championship. It takes days to recover from stuff like this emotionally because you're so invested in your team.
Maybe.
And
Yeah. Good. Good.
and when a team upsets your team year after year after year, it's like you build up a callus. So the Knicks losing this year, I wanted to see them do something to make me say, okay, I'm jumping out the window. They didn't do that
hmm
for me. I was
hmm
happy. I was content. I was
hmm
ready. But I never did it because I said, something's gonna. I know Tibbs one, and this Knicks team doesn't look like they're ready. They graduated, but they don't look mature, ready. They look something was out of sorts with them, and so
hmm
I didn't invest emotionally 100%. I
hmm
just knew better. You know what I mean?
hmm
And Nick fans today, they're 100% locked in, a lot of them, right? Because they're
hmm
younger. They haven't experienced what we've experienced, so they're out there on 34th Street. They're out there celebrating in the world, you know what I mean? And I'm happy
hmm
for them. And I'm
hmm
glad that they're witnessing and going through this. Maybe next year will be our year. Because the team, when they usually, like they say, fire a coach after they went to they got this close, the next coach up usually brings them to that promised land.
hmm
We've seen it happen. Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Ime Udoka. What's the coach now? Boston?
Joe Mazzulla.
Joe
Joe Mazzulla.
Mazzulla. Yeah. So we've seen
hmm
it happen plenty of times.
Sure.
It's not to say that it won't happen for the Knicks. But I've been saying it for years that um, Tibbs, great coach, but he's not the one to bring us there. He's the one to organize us and get us prepped because this
hmm
is a huge step. Getting to the championship by any stretch for these two teams that's in it is not easy. It's a lot.
hmm
A lot has to go right for you. A
hmm
lot. And then not only does a lot have to go right for you, you have to play lights out basketball, both end.
hmm
You know what I mean? So I salute and take my hat off to both teams for accomplishing this year, a new title winner. So, it's not easy. Denver couldn't, I mean, look how hard it is for them to get a second championship. Same thing with Milwaukee Bucks. It's hard. It's harder, man. It's hard to build a
Right.
contender and compete for one. So salute to these two teams. I don't want to take anything away from them.
Yeah. For me, 1994 was more an emotional drag than 99. The reason being is that 99, I understood, and at that age, I was more savvy and understanding not just what I'm watching in terms of basketball, but behind the scenes of basketball. That I was definitely more savvy about the business of basketball, the conspiracies behind the game of basketball, especially in the NBA, and also fully understood that it was entertainment, the fine print. 94, 94, not so much. When the Knicks was in the chip back then, we were what, 21, 22, early
Yeah.
20s. So I was watching with a bit of naivete. I looked at it, I took it as face value. I took it as these professional guys competing hard
Yeah.
on the court, and whoever outplays the other wins straight up. And
Modern day Warriors, man.
right. So all the conspiracy behind and the business behind the game of basketball was beyond me. Never do it. 94, 94 when we made the chip. and Starks went 2 for 18. Was definitely fuming. It did take me a minute to get over it,
Right.
especially when he was hot in game 6. We could have closed it in game 6, but then Dream.
Oh,
But instead of dumping it down to Pat for the game-winning bucket, he decided to take a three-pointer, and Dream got a piece of it. So I remember that game like it was yesterday.
that hurt.
You know what I'm saying? John, instead of dumping it down, he tried to shoot a three because he was hot, which is understandable. He was hot. But Dream got a little piece of it, saved the Rocket season, and then go on to game 7. And then John just laid the egg. So that was definitely demoralizing. 99, with a more savvy, more understanding about the sport, and also just taking it at face value. The Knicks against the Spurs, that was like Davey against Goliath. That was really like a Davey against Goliath.
Yeah.
The Spurs were a bigger team. They were a taller team. They had a full squad. Pat was hurt. LJ had a bad back, and I appreciate the fight. I appreciate the grit and the heart that we displayed to make it all the way there from the 8th seed. So I really have more of appreciation for 99 than I did in 94. 99, I was good with.
True that.
You
It
know
was
what I
still
mean?
emotional drag because the Knicks wasn't even supposed to make it that far. I mean, that leaner by Allen Houston against
Exactly.
Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell and LJ
Yeah.
taking over and beating Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
was it was so emotional. It was like a lot of
Yeah.
it was because we defeated the teams that we hated. We hated them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So and I text this to you. I said the problem with the Knicks, whether they're tired or not, whether it's if you want to blame the coach or not, or if it's the culture or not, is the fact that the Indiana Pacers hate the Knicks. New York and Indiana is a huge rivalry, but New York wasn't in it for the rivalry because they're different. This New York's team is gritty. They'll fight, but they
Yeah.
don't hate you as much as the Pacers hated the Knicks. I
I
just
would, I
don't.
would,
I didn't. I
yeah.
didn't feel. I didn't feel the tension from the Knicks towards Indiana until the end. That's when JB was barking, at Neesmith and so forth. But it was by then too late. You know what I mean? You want to fight and this. It was already too late. It was like, oh, let it go, let it go.
Well, he
But
had put the Neesmith out of frustration because, again, Neesmith, he didn't expect that from him because usually he handles Neesmith with no problem.
yeah,
Neesmith defensively. I mean, not Neesmith. Nemhart.
Nemhart,
Yeah.
yes,
Light skin, pretty boy. Nemhart, the DeBarge. He
yes,
um he stepped it up defensively. JB was caught out there because JB usually he can take he usually takes Nemhart off the dribble. That's light work.
yeah,
I always said Nemhart, TJ McConnell, light work.
yeah.
Neesmith was his nightmare. But when Nemhart started defending him like Neesmith, he didn't expect that. You could tell.
No. Well, in season, that defense is fouls. But we're playing playoff basketball. It's a different season. JB should
Right.
have been ready, and he wasn't prepped for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was, yes, definitely caught off guard. The Knicks didn't get the fair shaking of the calls. I'm not gonna
Right.
go there.
Yeah.
And Cat needed to do more of the sharing versus
Yeah.
selfish play. Those threes was like uncalled for.
Yeah.
And this is where the coach should have stepped up. Why wasn't Mitchell Robinson playing more minutes? And why was Champagne playing more minutes? Or I should say not Champagne, um,
Damn it.
Shamit uh, playing less and Cam playing more in the beginning. That it just threw me off, like the rotation and the minutes and I mean it was Mitch was sitting way too long. I get it, hacker Mitch. You take your chances, but I'm gonna play defense. You're a defensive minded coach. You take your lumps and keep it moving and hope that JB could keep you afloat because we should have never lost game one. Never should have lost game one.
Yeah, we blew it.
Yeah, and that was the end. That was the end of the beginning right there.
Yeah, the beginning of the end. Yeah, we blew it.
Yeah,
Game one,
yeah,
yeah, we definitely blew it.
yeah.
You give up.
So
You give up. You give up. You relinquish a lead of 9 points in 52 seconds. That's inexcusable.
it's a choke job.
Yeah, big time, big time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether the rest was swallowing their whistle or not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The squad. The squad. You laxed. You was up when you was up 17 with less than 6 minutes left. You was playing to the roar of the crowd. The crowd was celebratory. We all thought game one was on lock. We all did. We all did. And then Neesmith had started hitting a couple of threes. It was like, yeah, whatever. They ain't got much time to catch up. But then,
Little did we know.
Yeah, when Hallie, what the kids say now? What the Hallie? What the Hallie?
And can't make it up, bro.
And that's why I said in the previous show, man, they should have let them have that three, man. Let them feel that.
Yeah.
You know, don't let it go into overtime. I mean, it's what the canvas of his sneaker was on the 3-point line. Chances are his toe wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, that's why I was like, yo, why are you even stretching it? Because I knew when we was going into overtime, that was an L. Because it shouldn't have got to that point.
Right.
Now you're trying to do last minute heroics.
Yeah.
You already lost. They sent it to OT, you already lost.
The momentum, the pendulum and the momentum swung in that moment.
Yeah, it definitely swung. At that point, it swung. I was like, why agonize the situation? Why stretch it out there any longer?
Yeah.
I was like, overtime. I was like, ugh. I was like, the energy shifted. It swung.
You saw it in that moment.
Yeah, you definitely saw it in that moment, especially that bounce. You know, when that gratuitous bounce.
Yeah.
The Hallie got at the end, the buzzer beater. Like,
that's when you knew it was over.
Yeah, I was like, man,
like nobody gets a bounce like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, man,
nobody gets a bounce like that.
Not at all, man, not at all.
But
Not
look, even
but look, let's do this because I wanted to let's mine this out, Chef. Let's mine this out.
Let's go.
Because you're on the side of Tibbs should be going right now, and I'm on the side of he should have gotten one more chance. So you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. Should have got one more chance. You know what I'm saying? Because I kept preaching, not this season. Next season's hot seat year. Next season definitely hot seat year.
We couldn't. And I got reasons.
You know what I mean? So let's mine it out, Chef. We're gonna come to our own conclusion. Let's mine this out.
Okay.
So we're gonna play Nick Court.
Let's go.
I'll be
Let's go, baby.
I'm gonna be the you're the prosecutor. I'm gonna be the attorney for the defense.
Okay.
No. Well, no. What would Tibbs be? The plaintiff.
The plaintiff, yes.
Sir. Yeah. You're the prosecutor. All right. So,
okay, let's go.
So mind this out. So here's my argument, Chef.
Yes, sir.
Reasons why Tibbs should have got one more season.
Okay.
He's brung the Knicks back to relevance.
Yes.
When they hired him in COVID year, the Knicks made the playoffs for the first time in 10 seasons. Last time they made the playoffs was 2012 with Melo and the crew, Knicks tape crew. They've been atrocious since then. 2020 comes around, 2021, Tibbs takes the Knicks to the playoffs for the first time in almost 10 years. He wins Coach of the Year. Knicks go out first round of Hawks. Second year, they regress a little bit, didn't make the playoffs. Third and fourth year, back-to-back 50-win seasons. Back-to-back 50-win seasons. Each year that they've made the playoffs, they've progressed. Up to this year, they made it as far as the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
My other argument, Tibbs has produced 3 All-Stars throughout his tenure. JB, Cat, and Randall. JB and Cat was selected All-Star this year. Randall was an All-Star as soon as Tibbs got there. So Randall's years with the Knicks were his best years, were his prime years. He's a 3-4 time All-Star, I believe, all because of Tibbs. Third argument. Tibbs has brought the Knicks back to relevancy. Tibbs has New York enjoying Knicks basketball again. The vibe of the city was 90s vibe. Knicks 90s style basketball. Not necessarily, and the playing on the Knicks was kind of gritty, almost 90s style. But the overall vibe, the energy was definitely 90s style. Because we remember it back then. We could relate to it. Tibbs comes from the Pat Riley coaching tree. He's deeply connected to the Knicks organization. He was there as one of Pat Riley's assistant coach along with Jeff Van Gundy. He was there. This is how he's taught. He was under Riley. Riley plays a short man rotation. Riley plays 7 to 8 men, if that. Riley preaches defense. He coaches defense. Jeff Van Gundy follows suit. So did Tibbs. Although there was a lot of things that happened this season that says otherwise. Fifth, firing Tibbs puts pressure on the coach that's coming in here now, because now the pressure's on this new coach is finals or bust. Because now the expectations is high now. The expectations is very high. There's no wiggle room for the new coach. Whereas Tibbs, he's the one that carried the trajectory up. And I'd rather him handle that pressure of taking them to the finals as opposed to putting it on a new coach. Because the new coach is not going to have that margin of error or wiggle room. Because everybody's going to be like, look, we got the squad for you. Tibbs can't take us there. You got to take us there now. Whoever they hire, I don't know whether it be Ime, Johnny, Jason, whoever, Jay Wright, whoever is the head coach of the New York Knickerbockers for the 2025-2026 season. Everybody's going to be like, finals or nothing. We expect nothing less than finals. We don't want first round. We don't want semis. We don't want Eastern Conference. We already did that. We want finals. This is the pressure cooker the new coach is going to come into. And I rather Tibbs be under that pressure cooker, because Tibbs changed the culture. He cultivated this. And so he should have been given the opportunity to see if he can, for the very first time, reach the NBA Finals. And I think that the cutoff point was knee jerk. It was emotional, and it was in haste. And everybody should have just chilled, go process everything, and just relax a bit, have a good summer before they start making these type of decisions. I think everybody's still on an emotional, heightened emotional state because of the disappointment and the expectations. And I think people should have just go through the process of experiencing the disappointment, experiencing the season, and being grateful for the season. Last argument, the squad that we got now is that this is their first time together, particularly Cat and Mikal. We've been annoyed with Cat's play, we've been annoyed with Mikal's play, but this is the first time Cat and Mikal has been part of this mix. This is their first time here. They should have had another season under Tibbs to see if they could take it over the hump, because Pascal Siakam was acquired by the Pacers last year, and they went to the conference finals, and then they progressed. Now they're in the finals with Pascal Siakam there. Pascal Siakam was a great addition. That boy, that's my guy. I already think he's already Hall of Fame status to me, as far as I'm concerned. If his career, he's played 8 years in the league. He's got a chip. He's an all-star. He's in the finals again. He's accomplished a lot more than a lot of players that's already in the Hall of Fame. So Pascal Siakam can make a Hall of Fame case after it's all said and done for him. So I hand off to you, Counsel.
You make some very good arguments. Very good. But let's start with this.
Hmm.
Let's start with this. Um, this this didn't this decision just didn't happen. I'm gonna tell you why I believe that. Under numerous occasions, Tibbs had to go to the big office upstairs. He had to go upstairs and explain to his boss and his boss's boss as to why he wasn't playing his bench. Why was he relying on his meat and not his potatoes? Pause.
Hmm.
When you rely heavy on some players, like let's take Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali believed in the rope-a-dope, and a lot of teams did that to the Knicks, especially in the playoffs. The rope-a-dope, wear them out. Because by the time they make it to the next round, they're going to be so worn out that they're not going to be able to do what they've been doing. And I believe, no, I don't believe, I know for a fact that Leon and Worldwide West, and possibly James Dolan, has told Tibbs numerous amount of times, listen, we need to see these players. We need to evaluate them. We need to see what we got moving forward because we cannot do it with five, six, seven players, much less six. You got to play your young players. You got to develop them. He didn't develop them, so what did he do? He offloaded them. He traded Grimes for peanuts, got rid of Obi for peanuts, and he got rid of IQ and
Big loss.
whatchamacallit, huh?
Big loss.
Yes, IQ and whatchamacallit to
Jonte.
Toronto.
Oh,
We
oh,
got
RJ. RJ.
RJ, yeah. So, but we did get back in return OG. So that was a decent loss. That was a
Yeah,
decent
yeah, yeah,
loss.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's how that deal went there. Yes, yeah.
Right. I'll
That was a
take
good
that
trade. That was
loss.
a good trade. Okay, I'll
That was
take
a
that.
good trade.
Yeah.
You did all of that because you didn't want to play young players. You didn't want to develop. Then we get into the DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Me and you both agreed that that was not a smart play. That was not a smart play. I didn't like it. I didn't think Cat would move the needle. Cat is big, he's elusive, but I just felt like that team, last year's team, should have been given one more chance. Not this year's team, last year's team, with the addition of Mikal Bridges. Now, would we have won 50 games this season? I don't know because I know Mitch was out and we needed a big, but we had Precious. We had Precious. Precious held us down a good bit of the season, a lot bit of the season, actually.
You sure did.
Could we have bent the books and signed Hartenstein? I don't know what the relationship is or was with Hartenstein and Tibbs. Something had to happen for him to bolt the way he did because he didn't even want to hear it. It was an immediate, like, I'm good and I'm signing with OKC. Smart move for him because he's still in the finals. So something is broken in Tibbs' system. That's my one argument. My two argument is the writing was on the wall mid-season when Mikal Bridges started he started a little something. Came here and was like, yo, too many minutes, B. We can't sustain this. And for him to have that much moxie to go to Tibbs and sit in Tibbs' office and say what he said, it didn't come from him. It did not come from him. Um, certain players are going to say certain things. Certain players are willing to be the villain for other players. If you catch my drift, there's always going to be the good guy, the clean face, the face of the organization, the all-star, the pristine player that doesn't want to be known as, oh, I thought Jay, oh, I almost said his name. I didn't know he was like that. We don't know. We don't know. This is all my assumption. But something had to happen where the Knicks players were having several meetings throughout the season, players only. Something was taking place. Um, I'm sure Tibbs ran it like Pat Riley ran the Knicks, where he listened to the players, but he didn't listen. Like, this is my team. I want to run it the way I want to run it. And no matter who you bring on my staff, I run this ship. James Woodson left, Johnny Bryant left, and a couple of other coaches left. Tibbs is hard-headed, doesn't want to listen. He wants to run the ship the way he wants to. Now, in Tibbs' defense, I will say yes, he did go to Steve Kerr. He did ask Steve Kerr questions. He did take some pointers from Steve Kerr as to how he runs his bench, how he develops his players, but most of all, importantly enough, how does he keep his starters happy? Tibbs, you could see a shift where he was paying the young players. You could see it. And I don't think the young players did that much worse, that he relied on his starters that much. But then again, he was missing Mitch. So he had to supplement that. Cat was new. He had to supplement that. He had two rookies and some other young players that were coming in, and they done picked up out of free agency. So he didn't do that. And then as the season progressed, you could see him going back to his old style because he couldn't deal with the new way of the NBA. This new NBA is different. It's a monster, especially with the second apron. It's a monster. A third point with Tibbs that I had a problem with is his coaching style. Heavy ISO. Heavy ISO. While that is a part of New York brand basketball, well, when I say New York brand, I'm not talking about New York Knicks. I'm talking about New York City brand. If you go to Harlem, you go to Rutgers, you go to Brooklyn, you go anywhere, playgrounds, polo, anywhere you go, Utah, 21. That is a heavy game of New York brand style basketball. Take the ball out, give it to the point guard, let him go to work. When you got a solid point guard, you can do that. But when you don't, and you have four other players plus two coming off the bench, you gotta devise schemes. You gotta switch it up. Got to do things differently and throw your opponents off. You did that in season, but when they came to the playoffs, you became predictable. I mean, it was to the point where they said that the Knicks starting five or whatever played 700 hours or something like that, or 700 minutes, which basically trumps. Like,
Led,
that's like,
led, led the league in minutes with 755.
right. That's absurd. What do you think was going to happen in the playoffs
The
against
starters, that is, the starters.
Yeah, the starters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think was going to happen after you beat Boston? These cats ain't got no more legs. And you could see it. JB was getting beat. Cat was flopping. It was like watching somebody trying to swim in the water, a large body of water, and couldn't keep his head above water. It was horrible. It was horrible to look at. That was some stink basketball. And the best that you could do is switch the lineup by putting Mitch in the five and putting Hart on the bench, coming off the bench as a sixth man. And not only did you not just stick to that, when the times got rough, you stuck with Hart and not with Mitch. We needed defense, and you went offense. You went ISO ball. Now, I can't explain the 20-point collapse in the first game. I have no explanation for that. I wasn't in the huddle. I don't know what was told. But fatigue was a factor. Fatigue was a heavy factor. The fact that them boys couldn't defend. So that's where you should have went to your bench, the ones that got you to 20. Because in this series, every time reduced minutes, was on the floor with especially with Shamit or and what's your boy name? Darrell,
DeLon, right?
Deron, right? When that team was on the floor, even though it was a little bit smaller, but they were faster, they were more energetic. They put clamps on these players. Mitchell Robinson, foul trouble, yes, no, but he still played smart. He was closing out on the defense. Why? Because he didn't play all season, so he had fresh legs. A lot of those players have fresh legs, but you went to your tired legs to try to close out a game that you was up 20, not with your starters, but with a mix of players. You wrote your own tombstone right there. You did. I promise you, you did. And New York, with their infatuation that, yes, Tibbs did do a lot for New York. He did. But I said for years, with him not being able to switch up and utilize the tools that he has, is not going to get us to the promised land. He's going to get us to the front door, but he's not going to walk us across that threshold. And imagine if Pat Riley did that in 94, where in 93, the Knicks did have that same squad just about. I think there was an addition of one or two maybe. Anyway, you get rid of Pat Riley, you bring in like a Mark Jackson or someone else that is able to not let John Starks shoot those threes and understands that we have Rolando Blackman and Hubert Davis. Different outcome. I don't want to relive that. I don't want to relive that with Tibbs, where we run it back and Tibbs gets us to the ECF,
ECF, yeah.
and we're looking at the same thing. Tired legs. Rinse and repeat. Why do we have to go through a whole season just to do this again? I don't want to. Best place to let a coach like that go is at the end of the season, very tail end, much like football. Bring in another coach before the draft, and he knows how to develop. Bring in the development staff that this coach is willing to listen to and understands that. Listen, you need to listen and develop the bench that you have, because you do have some nice pieces on the bench. By far, the bench is not bumps. The other thing is, my brother, shout out to my brother Francis, he brought something to my attention that the G League, the Knicks G League team, has two players that were averaging above 20 points per game. And instead of bringing them up, you brought in PJ Tucker. And all PJ Tucker did was be motivation on the bench. He
He's
didn't
the extra
see,
coach for the uniform one.
yeah. So you're not going to give PJ Tucker minutes in a dire situation, but you let him motivate people on the bench. Meanwhile, you got two bona fide potential future picks or future players in the
On
G
your
League
G League team.
on your G League team. Deuce was killing it in the G League.
He was a former G Leaguer. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think you have that for?
Yeah.
So I'm a little disappointed. I don't know whose decision that was, but somebody's gotta answer for that. And lastly, uh, again, Tibbs didn't make those changes in Indiana willingly. It wasn't because his job was on the line that he, in game 3, made the lineup change. I believe it was executed by the boss upstairs. Listen, Tibbs, you gotta do something. Your job is on the line. I like you family, but you gotta do something. Bring Mitch off the bench, play him more minutes, blah blah blah, and he did that. Not because he wanted to.
We cannot get swept. We
Yeah,
cannot get swept.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of, oh, I want to make a change and because we could win. He was called upstairs, he was sat down, he was undressed, and then he was handed back his clothing after he left that office.
Mm.
Trust me, it wasn't a pleasant visit after game 2. In your own hometown, you go down 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It was
Yeah,
by far not pleasant.
especially not going down 0-2.
No.
Yeah.
Indiana didn't really do nothing for me besides Pascal Siakam, and you could have clamped him up. That's because I seen it. I seen it clamp him up, and they didn't do nothing to really say we deserve to lose that game. We deserve to lose that series. Yes, we should have lost one or two games, but not the series, Ja. So that to me was poor leadership. And then it comes out that Tibbs didn't give any players defining roles.
Mm.
That was part of the
Yeah.
exit evaluation interview.
Wow.
So it was unanimous that all players said that we didn't know what our roles were. Deuce McBride and Mikal Bridges apparently had some major things to say, and they took it under advisement. So
Mm.
Tibbs pissed off quite a bit of people in the
Mm.
organization, not just the
Mm-hmm.
players, the
Mm-hmm.
coaching staff as well. I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
many coaches do you have to go through every year before somebody says, listen, it's either the coach that doesn't know what he's doing or
Mm-hmm.
the coaches that don't know, that's not telling Tibbs what to do. And to my understanding, Tibbs did not listen to his coaching staff. Case in point, Knicks was up by, I think, 20, 30, something like that against Boston. Ray
Mm-hmm.
Brunson said, hey, get the players out. Ignored them.
Mm-hmm.
Flushed, ignored them. Fourth quarter.
I
Yo,
saw that.
we gotta get the starters out.
Yeah, I saw that exchange. Yeah.
JB got up off the bench. He's like, listen, Tibbs, you gotta get these players out. Straight ignored them.
Mm-hmm.
He waited till 2 minutes in the game to make sure that we was gonna win, which we was gonna win anyway,
Mm-hmm.
before he made the change. It's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, y'all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, valid. It's valid.
So,
Valid.
so with that, those are my reasons why I felt it was just to not go, not even start, not even go into the summer league with Tibbs,
Mm-hmm.
much less into the draft with Tibbs on this team and pick players that we're never going to see on the court.
Right. Right. No,
So,
yeah, yeah, that's definitely legit arguments. So a couple of things I could agree with. Overall, the reason why the Knicks lost the series is because of fatigue, clearly. Whether the players
yeah,
are going to admit it or not, the players are not going to admit that.
no,
But you know, as a basketball player, once you have fatigue, it fogs with your mental, it fogs with your brain, and your brain doesn't always under your body in a state of fatigue. Your brain gets fatigued as well.
yeah, stress.
You're right. It's stress, and hence this is why you make boneheaded plays. You make boneheaded turnovers, and you get clumsy with the ball. You fumble the ball literally. And I
Yeah,
think that and in Cat's defense, as much as clumsy as he plays, because he looks clumsy
he
going,
does.
he looks very clumsy going downhill. He's so imbalanced. I personally think he needs to go to he needs to get taught by Dream. He needs to learn.
Yes,
He needs to go to Dreams camp and learn some footwork.
yes,
The Dream holds a camp for big men and teach them footwork. Carl needs to go.
yes.
That should be part of his summer.
Yeah, yeah. And
Go,
Patrick
go
Ewing's there. He
yeah,
could teach
yeah.
you the
Go,
turnaround
go,
jumper.
go see Dream.
Yeah,
No, not even Pat. Love Pat. No, go see Dream.
I agree.
Because Dream's footwork is lethal.
Hands down,
It's masterful.
hands down, hands down.
Go learn from that man. Because you look clumsy going downhill. You look clumsy going to the rack.
Right.
I feel like you're gonna fall all the time and something's gonna happen to your knee. Of which, by the way, he did play on bum knees.
He did.
He played on bum knees and broken fingers.
Yeah,
Who he elected. So Cat did some tough New York shit.
he did.
I give it to him. It's clumsy, and then we making fun of the way he talks, and after all that, you know what I'm saying. But
Ooh,
look on the
zesty.
court, he does some zesty things. But if you really want to get down to it, Cat was a tough guy.
He was.
He did some tough shit.
He did.
Bum knees and a broken finger, and he was still averaging 20 and 10 throughout the playoffs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got, just take away the jokes and making fun of him. Nah, Cat did his thing because he played very different than when he was in Minnesota. That's why we was like, oh God, why are we getting Cat?
Yeah.
But Cat played New York style.
He did.
He'll shoot his threes, but it wasn't as often as he did in the Minnesota.
Some of them were questionable. Some of
the threes were questionable.
Horrible.
Right. It was hard. It was horrible choices. But again, I think that comes with fatigue.
Yeah.
Because throughout the playoffs, especially in the Indiana playoffs, a lot of those threes were air balls. But I think that's fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah.
He made him in Detroit.
Yeah.
He made him in Boston.
He did.
But Indiana was atrocious. It's fatigue. To your point, it's fatigue.
Yeah.
And I attribute that to the loss. Them and for them to make it this far under fatigue, kudos to them. But what I'm concerned is the insurmountable pressure that the next head coach is going to have.
Listen, if you take the job,
he has to take him to the finals.
Listen, I heard Ime wants the job. So if a coach wants the job, that means that they're more qualified. They're qualified to do their job. And if you're qualified to do it, then by all means, you've shown that you can do it.
Yeah.
And yes. That's why when people start naming college coaches, I'm like, no. We don't need nobody with no NBA experience. One.
Nah, not at this state of the junction. No.
You cannot, no.
No. You do not.
You cannot bring in a non
no.
You cannot bring in a non NBA coach that has zero experience.
No NCAA coaches.
No, this is not the time. That's why I heard
not the time.
Because when I heard Rick Pitino and Rick Carlisle, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We circling the wagon?
This ain't rebuild.
No. You have to bring in a bona fide coach.
Agreed.
That can handle the New York pressure in media.
Agreed.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, has that experience. And not just with the Knicks, but in pressure situations, has shown that they can win.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
That's why the pool of those coaches are so small.
Right.
Very small.
Right.
So with that being said, yes, they named two coaches that's already under contract and one that's a free agent. And I'm sure there's probably one or two more that we haven't thought about. But I'm gonna tell you now, Mark Jackson, scratch it. I'm gonna tell you now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I don't know what that man did that was so egregious that got him blackballed. I think I know what it was, but you know what? At the end of the day, that shouldn't matter.
It was political reasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I know what it is.
It was political and religious reasons.
Yes,
correct. That's why he got blackballed. And Mark Jackson is a Christian.
Yes.
So you already know how that go.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think I know the reason.
Yeah.
But I don't want to speculate because we don't know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
You got to use that word heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah. Heavy on Mark Jackson.
Heavy on Mark Jackson.
Heavy on the allegedly on Mark Jackson.
So allegedly speaking, I think I know why he's not in the league.
Right.
And he would never be part of the league because of this reason.
Yeah.
And you know what? I respect that. Thank you for being that person. But you can give up on Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, I shouldn't say give up. You can You could almost bet Mark Jackson is not going to be a candidate.
Right. Don't consider him. Don't even.
Yeah, don't consider him until he's considered. Let's say that.
Yeah. And I don't want Jay Wright either.
No,
We don't need no
what
NCAA
he
coach.
did,
No.
right? What he did at Seton Hall or whatever he was at, whatever he did there, it stays there. That's on the collegiate level. You're playing with men now.
Yeah.
Men with different feelings,
Yeah.
different types of emotions.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell a grown man that he can't have this, can't do that. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's not under your tutelage as far as a scholarship. These men are making millions of dollars to produce, and they love this game, and they will not be stifled by a college coach who has some bravado and machoism to come in here and think that he's going to show and pull up his pants and say, this is how it's going to go. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Not with grown men with families.
No, no. Now, the one thing that I did like about Tibbs, amongst other things, is that he did establish a culture here. You know, say a toughness.
Toughness, yes.
Like, yo, listen, we're not here crying.
Yeah.
You're not gonna come tell me what I'm gonna do. You're gonna do it my way, or you're gonna sit, or you're gonna be traded. And he stood 10 toes on that. So I salute him on that because it was never ever leaked out beef other than what the media leaked out.
Right.
That was told to the media by the players. Other than that, whatever happened behind the closed doors, best believe it stayed behind closed doors.
Right. Sure.
We never knew what Leon was thinking or anybody else other than what we heard in the media by the players.
Yep. And that's even speculation because we don't even have concrete confirmation.
Right. So I say exactly. So I say all that to say the next coach that come in here better not be their friend. I don't want to hear that crap. You cannot have that type of relationship and think that you're gonna down like what's his name? That Fizdale. You cannot have that type of relationship. It's not gonna work.
Nope.
You need a Phil Jackson type of mentality to come in here and listen. I don't know if you've ever seen Johnny Bryant's offensive scheme. Oh, it's brilliant. It's crazy. It's all about movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the modern day triangle of Phil Jackson, but tweaked with movement.
Right.
And I seen it today. He was talking about it on not today, but it was an old interview. And he was talking about his offense and how he got Cleveland to where they're at. I was like watching young brilliance.
Yeah.
So I know what he stands on. Ime, I know what he stands on. Jason Kidd.
Ime's defense though.
Yes, he is. He is. And Ime will listen to the offensive coordinator. Now, Jason Kidd, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't seen him with a good team. I know what he could do offensively as a player. I know what he's done as an assistant coach. I know what he's done for Dallas. But Dallas never really, other than, what was it, last year?
Jason's been to the finals. He's taking the Mavs to the finals. They lost.
Right. But
he's
because players were hurt.
Right.
Right. So, but I haven't studied. What I'm saying is I haven't studied his offense to see like, oh man, his offense is up there too, or defense. But he has that mentality. He has it because look what he did with the Nets as a player. So if you as a player, and I also heard one more name that intrigued me, but I haven't seen him yet. Some people say Sam Cassell. I don't know about that, but Stackhouse. That name grabbed me too. Jerry Stackhouse.
Jerry Stackhouse.
Yes. Because he's been coaching too.
Wow.
That name stood out a little bit more as far as young coaches. Because from my understanding, the way that people were talking about him, as far as like how he runs his offense and how he
Yeah.
runs his, players and everything. So I thought that was interesting.
Jerry Stackhouse.
Yes. So,
That's
but it's
I
down to
don't know
two
if I don't
names.
know if he'll be here, but he'll get a job somewhere.
Yeah. Well, listen, the Knicks going to clear house, right? Bench wise. So I don't think not Moses. I don't think half the coaching staff is going to be here. I think a fella Harrington deserves to stay here. Rick Brunson is definitely going to stay here. But outside of
Yeah,
that, I think the bench might be cleared out. So it might be a whole new staff because as a coach, I want to bring in who I want to bring in.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. That's why I say Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant can work with who's there now.
yeah. Because he knows them already. He was there.
Right, right.
Yeah. All right. We'll
Except for
see.
Mo Cheeks. I don't know about Mo Cheeks. Mo Cheeks is a new addition.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would keep Mo Cheeks as long
Yeah.
as Mo Cheeks don't try to, backstab me. I mean, I got it.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah. He got a little seedy reputation happening there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? It was like, oh, yeah. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
what's up with that, Mo? Damn.
exactly. But
Yeah,
but as far as the Knicks go, who knows? They need an off season. They need to debrief. They need
yeah.
to
Enjoy the summer, man. Just
yeah, yeah.
don't even think about basketball at
Nah.
this moment. You gotta, yeah.
Summer league gonna be lit
You
though.
gotta decompress. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Summer league for the
I'm gonna be
Knicks gonna
looking
be
forward to
lit
summer league. Absolutely.
because they gonna have a squad B,
Yeah, absolutely. Because
which is gonna make it
especially
harder.
the G Leaguers. Well, didn't the G Leaguers win the chip?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the irony.
The irony there. The irony there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody winning but the Knicks.
I know, right?
Liberty,
I know.
Liberty's no joke. G League ain't no joke.
Yeah, undefeated. Liberty started the season undefeated. Shout out to them. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
did you
So
see how they whooped up on the team over the week?
mollywopped. Mollywop. Connecticut Sun. Mollywop.
Yeah, they didn't even get cross. They didn't cross 60.
Easy work. It's crazy. It's crazy. So shout out to them. But
Yes, sir.
Chef,
Yes,
we have displayed our arguments. We have articulately and intelligently on both sides of the spectrum expressed what's wrong with the Knicks.
yes,
Another unfortunate season falling short, but yet an enjoyable season.
I did.
So, we gonna see what's going on, and we will be watching. I'm gonna be watching. I ain't no hater. I'm gonna watch the finals. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna
Yeah, I
be fast
think.
paced. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fast paced.
yeah.
It's gonna be
But
fast paced.
listen. Let me tell you how petty the Knicks are gonna be.
Mm.
In the middle of the championships, the Knicks are gonna announce their coach and take headlines away from the championship, away from the Indiana
I would not be
Pacers.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Knicks are gonna be that petty.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
So trust you me, all through the summer, Knicks gonna be making noise.
Hmm.
And
I
the
wouldn't be
good thing,
surprised.
and the thing about it is the players are involved in picking the coach.
Yeah, I heard. I heard. I heard. You got a damn it, man.
It's it's not a damn it, man, but
Hmm.
it's a word of caution.
Yes.
Word of caution. Um, New York fans, I get it. I've never seen a city more divided over a coach than New York right now. Um, take everything.
It's like a civil war online right now.
It is. It is. Take everything into account. Um, did we overachieve? Yes. What are the best 5 years of our lives in Nick basketball history? Yes. Did everybody go out and buy Nick merch instead of wearing trash bags on their head? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, we did. Is Tibbs the one that's gonna bring us to the table so that we can eat at the championship table? At the time, no, and definitely not now. But at the time, no. The writing was on the wall because he bought a 90s style basketball game into a new millennia. and it aged out real quick. It aged out real quick. The way the bargaining, the the CBA rule works, the way the second apron works, even Mike Malone got fired. Even the Memphis Grizzlies coach got fired. So that goes to tell you that coaches first this go around. Coaches first, not the players, because when it's a detrimental change that needs to be had or made, you're not going to look at the players because time is money and everybody's on the clock. So you gotta kind of like force what you got and tweak it minorly. You cannot make drastic changes because look what happened last year with DiVincenzo and Julius Randle being shipped out for one player, and then Mikal Bridges for draft compensation. So I'm not saying that it hurt us, but it was a major roster change, and it didn't capitalize, at least in year one, to us getting to the finals. All right. So New York, I applaud your energy for your coach, but look at everything. Look at the resume and the goods and the bads that came with his resume. Look at everything. And you would realize that, you know what, maybe Tibbs isn't good, and all wounds will heal when they hire the next coach. It's gonna make sense.
All right. It's still gonna be final or bust though, man, for the next coach.
Of course, it has to be. Ja, you cannot settle.
Yeah, he in a pressure cooker. Whoever's
Listen,
gonna be, he's in a pressure cooker.
listen, look at the Lakers. Let's use the Lakers as an example of winning a championship, getting rid of a coach, and not making it back there again. And that's with LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That's with LeBron.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's your example.
Yes. And on that note, we thank you for watching. Enjoy the NBA Finals, folks, as we are. We definitely gonna be watching.
Facts.
And on behalf of the chef.
Oh, wait, Ja. Who's your pick? Who's your pick?
OKC in 5.
OKC in 5. Okay.
Obi Toppin, Red Robin, Mary Poppins. OKC in 5.
OKC in 5. Okay.
It was easy work.
I say 6.
6. Okay.
6. I give Indiana at least 2 games. They may win.
Right.
Well, they may win one at home, one on the road.
Okay.
That's about as much as I give them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's our call. That's our picks. We got OKC winning the chip. It's their time. Shout out to SGA. Definitely the best player in the league right now. So that boy good. That boy good.
and they've put a team around him to support him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yes, on that note, always remember, whatever you do, make sure you love what you do so you can embrace the grind. WGR Squad's drum major.
Yes, sir.
Till next time, God.
Peace.